I'm gonna have to get me some flowers before I go home.
But she does have some little stuffed coos over there, and I love the other one. This is just adorable. It's even got a Scottish flag. I'm like, which one of these did you want? I picked that up. I go, just because of this. She goes,
The store is open if you'd like to come in.
Okay.
here recently found out that I'm more Scottish than we are anything. So we've been really
Checking it out.
Yeah, and she goes, oh. She goes, now I see why you yell coo.
It's a pretty nice day today, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. How much is the,
Oh, gosh. Are they not marked? 'Cause I'm just a volunteer.
either I'm not seeing it or,
Oh, goodness. Well, I can go find out real quick. Like I said, I'm just
Okay.
volunteering here.
Small one, like a kitchen.
there?
Yeah, and
We're going to find out because nobody seems to. We're all volunteers here going, I don't know. But I'm going to go find out for you.
okay. This is where we're at, guys.
pretty good. How are you, sir?
so far.
All right. These are $10, and they are for not actually Poplar Heights, but the Pappenville Historical. So they're $10.
Okay. All right. Corn cob jelly. That's the first time I've heard of that. Now, tomato jelly, I've heard.
Yeah, I've not heard the corn cob either, and I've had some of the tomato. It's actually very delicious.
Yep.
I was shocked.
I got into making dandelion jelly because
yeah.
I used to make it with my mom and grandma. And oh my gosh, people just
Loved it.
I've actually ended up making 3 batches because the first batch I ended with 1 jar that I was eating, and then had to make a second batch, which half of that went, and then I had to make a third batch just to make sure I had enough for the year.
Yeah.
So, but all right, I'm walking around, and then I'm going to go back to do all my shopping on my way back to the car. That way I'm not carrying everything all around with me.
You. Good morning.
All right, thank you.
Coming out.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. Get my phone put back away so I don't lose it.
Hello,
Making lace.
I'm making lace. This is bobbin lace, and it's old traditional lace making. Originally started in the middle 1500s. And these are the bobbins, and all the threads wound on the bobbins, and then you use the bobbins to do the weaving. I'm making French lace, but I'm using English bobbins just because they're really pretty. And the ring of beads gives a little weight to the bobbins, but it also keeps them from rolling. Right now I'm doing a whole stitch, which is an over and under weave. There's 3 moves, the cross to the right, 2 left moves, and a cross to the right. I'm putting 2 twists, and I put in my gimp, and then I'm doing a double stitch, which is cross, twist, cross, twist. There's 4 moves to that. And then I place my pin. My pattern is all pricked out on the paper before I start, so all the pinholes are in there.
That is really cool.
Thank you.
Some of my great grandmother used to make lace and lace doilies, and I never understood how they could do something so delicate.
Well, there's a lot of different techniques of lace making. Here in the United States, it was very popular on the East Coast, and when people traveled across the country, they would bring their lace pillows with them, but it wasn't a necessity type of thing, so you know, it might have got dumped by the side of the road. But you could order lace from overseas through a lot of the stores. You've heard of the Arabia that went down in Kansas City on the river? Yes, they've got the museum with the boat, the paddle wheel boat up there. They've got some black silk bobbin-made lace that had to have come from overseas. But the only thing that survived on that textiles was natural fiber. You know, all their wools and their linen, not linen, but their silk and wool survived. So all of the cottons and the linens deteriorated in the water, but the natural, which, you know, like your wools, that it was amazing. I went up there and saw it, and I couldn't believe. I said, "Oh my gosh, they have bobbin lace," but it was made out of black silk, so that's.
Yeah, I'm from upstate New York, so all of my relatives are from there, so everything was. They had a lot of lace and.
Well, they made a lot of lace. In the eastern colonies there, from Massachusetts and when they settled there in those cities, there is Itchwish lace,
Yes.
and they also,
Some of my ancestors actually lived there. So it's like
that's really
when they came
interesting.
over on the good ship Anne.
Yes.
So that's,
Wow.
yep.
That's
I
really
chased,
wonderful.
I traced my lineage all the way back through to where they came over from England. So, and that's where they were settled there and all around that area and then kind of spread out. So it was pretty cool to find all of that information finally. Well, thank you for showing me. That is wonderful.
Sure.
Thank you.
You-
Yeah, I love books. I love ooh, Ghost Dancers.
Ew, I write books. These are
I know. I'm trying to get my book published, but it's
well, good luck. I've been doing this 20 years, and this is me. This is independent. So
yep. And a lot of people are going to publishing through Amazon, self-publishing.
yeah, that's what I'm. All this is KDP. So anyway, but this is my
Are you the one
series.
that wrote the books about spoke to the ladies of the round table? Is that the ladies of the round table?
Civil War Roundtable?
Yes.
How long ago?
Years ago?
I've spoken to the
Yeah.
historical societies, roundtable, anybody that'll let me. I talk.
Yes.
So, like I say, these are my older books. Those are my newest books. Treachery at Midnight is my newest book. I should put that review out. I had an awesome review from the online book club. So that's my newest. That gives you a lot of Cass
This one
County
looks
history.
really interesting.
She was my biggest seller until this one. So this is my latest. This is the one that released before this, and then this was my biggest seller. And that gets into a lot of Cass County history and includes Order Number 11. Are you familiar with Order Number 11?
I'm trying to figure out what happened to somebody, where they were buried if they were put into jail for what they thought was against the
Order Number 11?
Uh-huh.
Ah,
She died in jail because she got pneumonia and she died there. Where did they bury her? Nobody can find where she was buried.
well, this sounds like my story almost. Now, this is in Georgia, though.
Right.
That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about
No, it
somebody
happened
here.
right here, yes.
Um,
And they can't find records of where they buried the people that were in jail. They can't find no records. What they do with them is my question. Thought-
none of the people in this book actually wound up in jail or anything. So, but I would say check Provost Marshal records, maybe. I don't even know where they would have been held in in Cass County. I guess at the
Yeah, because she lived, I believe, in Cass County. Yeah, it was Cass County because she lived out the other side of Drexel. So
Drexel. That's the town I was trying to think of earlier. So these are all standalones, and then these are the series.
right.
So, and the books are they're 12 each, plus tax. But then if you buy 3 or more, then you get a 10% discount.
Right.
So,
All right. I am doing a walkthrough so I can get an
Lay of the
idea of what
land.
everything is. And you're local, though,
yeah,
correct?
I'm south,
Okay.
just a little south, about 20 miles, or north, just about 20 miles
And-
north. And
Are you going to be set up by some chance at Adrian Tractor Show? Where's the next place you're
No,
going to be
because that's always the same weekend. I'm in Clinton that weekend.
at? Okay.
It's
All right.
4th of July weekend, isn't it? Or the weekend.
It's the weekend before,
Right
or
before,
the 2
yeah,
weekends before, or
so-
something like that.
Yeah, I'm on vacation in the middle of June, and then I do Clinton on 4th of July weekend. In August, I'll be in Lone Jack.
Do you have a card?
I do, and everything is on here. Let me staple it on there. Everything is on here as well. But you can go to my website And, oh, I need to update my website. Do you have, if you're interested, sign up for my newsletter.
Hardly open anything if you don't recognize it. Want to cut some stone?
I grew up cutting bluestone. How are you doing, Melissa?
Good.
We'll see you later, Michelle. I'll probably be back
You-
tomorrow.
Okay.
You're doing it. I have a flower in my hair. Doing it old school.
So we still do it this way. So, well, at least for the school kids. But we still break it out the same way, but we use air hammers normally for this instead of doing it by hand.
Yep. No, I grew up cutting bluestone with my dad and brothers, and then when I got older and stuff, I cut it for myself. And it's not a living because it ruins your bones and joints and
You know,
whacking
go,
with the hammers.
See how the finger's going crooked? That's not arthritis. It's called, in this case, Brian, my son, dropped a base on my hand. We were out setting for Memorial Day. And it was my fault. He thought I had my hand out from under it, and I didn't when he dropped
Ooh.
it. And it broke, the bones just kind of shattered him here. Well, I had to do an etching the next day, and so when I went and they took the x-rays, they said, yes, it's broken, we'll cast it. And I said, no, because I have to be able to bend and everything else. He said, well, good luck, tape it and hope it works. So,
Yeah.
and that was 20 years ago, and just in the last 4 or 5 years, it's starting to lean.
Curve. Yeah. Yeah.
My mother had arthritis, and she would point over here to get over there.
A lot of people, they'll see like I'll be making a video and they're like, oh, your hands are so fat. Why are you? And they're rude people. People get on YouTube and they make the meanest comments to
everybody is-
people. And I'm like,
everybody is rude
15 years or
anymore.
more working in a stone quarry, this is what you get, you know. And that, and I have Indian and all that in my blood. I'm going to have short little fat fingers and fat little hands. It's there. It's just going to be. It just,
You know, I have big hands, you know.
yeah.
I was painting the other day and I went and got large plastic gloves out of to paint with, and they wouldn't fit. So I
And then
finally
the
just
fingers
gave
will
up
be
and
like
I-
a mile long by the time the gloves fit. The fingers
Yes.
are too long, and you're like,
Well, there's
so. Oh, it's gorgeous up here. I keep looking for a little piece of property to stick my head at. And it's like, I can't believe what people want for just like,
everything was
nothing.
good until last year, and then with the COVID, land prices out in the country just went through the roof.
I was looking at a piece of property and they wanted $9,000 for less than 2/10 of an acre. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, what am I going to do with 2/10 of an acre?
And see, when we sold off the lot that the Summit School was on, most of it at that time, it was appraised on blacktop in a gravel corner with utilities. It was appraised at $2,000 an acre. We got $5,000 for it because the farmer made the rest as a donation to help move the school. But you know, we could have probably gotten 10 for that this past year, so.
Yep, I'm looking for something little because I'm honestly tired of living in a little fishbowl down there at the senior housing. I'm like, this isn't me. I literally don't leave my house. I don't leave it because I can't. I walk out and it's like all eyes are on you, and it's like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. It's like my anxiety goes whoop the minute I walk out my door. It's like terrible. But this is so nice out here. This is beautiful. I love the house. The house
You
is like
notice they're
gorgeous.
putting a new roof on.
I see that, and it's
And
shingle.
see, they're not finished yet.
Shakes, yes.
Yeah, so they still have to, they're coming back tonight after 6 o'clock when we close to keep working. But you can see they're working on
Yep.
that ridge up there. And then they have to trim all that off, and then they have to put the ridge cap up. And that's delayed getting everything else done out here because they thought it would take a week to do the house, the barn, and the log cabin. And the log cabin, I will admit, looks fabulous. But the week they started, I think, the 1st of May. It just rained
Rain.
constantly.
Yes.
So finally they just gave up, and they would, because when those shingles are gone, it's the original boards from 1870. There's no sheeting under wood shingles.
No.
And you
No.
tell people that, and they go, well, doesn't it leak? And I go, no, it has to breathe. But you
Yeah.
know, if they had, I wish they had left part of it open so that people could have seen. The boards are irregular cut. They still have bark on them,
Yeah.
and that you can look right into the attic, and there go
Yep.
the shingles.
My parents' house, the house I grew up in, you could look right out through the roofs in some places and see skylight, but it didn't leak. And when I was a kid, I was like, rain's gonna come through there, but it never did.
It doesn't. It's weird.
Never did. It was always like I never understood it. And then, they put whatever those. It looked like they have little stones all over it. Those shingles, I think they had asbestos in them. Back then everything had asbestos in them, but covered it with that, and but that's a gorgeous house. Is the house open today?
Yes.
Okay.
If you go around this way, you can go right in the front door. Just the downstairs is, because we had to take all the pictures down, all the decorative items off, and everything, because when they're up there hammering and stuff, the whole house just shakes.
Oh yeah.
So we put some stuff back, but the upstairs is just, there's dust coming down, and
Yeah.
as fast as we would clean it, filter back through. So, but the downstairs is open.